let's continue to example number 4. Okay, so here I'm going to graph the relation. Again, I'm going to find the domain and range and then determine if that relation is going to be a function. Alright, so my first ordered pair is negative 8, negative 5. So I go left 8, down 5. Negative 8, 3. I go left 8, up 3. Negative 5, 4. I go left 5, up 4. 0, 2. I just go up 2. And then 8, negative 5. I go right 8, down 5. Okay, so my domain again is my x values. Start by x, colon, and then a bracket. I'm going to list my x values in increasing order with no repeats. So my smallest number is negative 8, but since negative 8 appears twice, I'm just going to write it once because there's no repeats. Then I go to negative 5, 0, and then 8. Alright, I'm going to list my range, which is y, colon. I'm going to start with my smallest number, which is negative 5. Even though negative 5 appears twice, I'm just going to write it once since there's no repeats. I then go to 2, 3, and 4. Okay? So, is it a function? If you notice, this point right here and this point, they lie directly above each other. Okay? That means it fails the vertical line test. In order to pass, you cannot have any points directly above each other. So since it fails the vertical line test, it's not a function. No, because it fails the vertical line test. Okay? So you don't want points directly above each other. If you have that, it fails the vertical line test, meaning it's not going to be a function. Alright, so we are going to move on to graphing lines using a table of values. What we're going to do is first choose 5 x values, and then we're going to use substitution from what we did in Unit 0, so that first chapter that we did. And we're going to substitute them into our input values, into the function. Okay? And then make sure your x values produce y values that fit on the graph. Then you're going to plot each ordered pair, which again is a point, then connect them to form a line. And then make sure you use a straight edge, and then you have arrows on both ends of the line. You're going to need your graphing calculator at this part, so please take that out now. Alright, so here's number 5. We're going to graph the line y equals 2x minus 5. My x values are generally going to be the same unless I'm dealing with a fraction. 2 is not a fraction, so I'm not going to be dealing with a special case choosing my input values. So my input values, I'm going to start with 0 in the middle. I'm going to go 2 smaller, so negative 1, negative 2, and then 2 bigger, 1, 2. So those are my 5 input values that I chose. Now I'm going to substitute all my input values into my x and determine what my output value is. So I'm going to first show you the first one. So y equals negative 2. Remember with substitution we have to have parentheses. Oops, sorry, it's supposed to be positive. Okay. I'm going to substitute negative 2 in for my x, and then I'm going to do minus 5. Okay. In your calculator, what you'll have is, let me get out of there. You'll have 2, parentheses, negative 2, negative 2, minus 5. Okay, so that's my first y value is negative 9. So I'm going to come back to our notes, and I'm going to write negative 9. And I'm going to do the same process for every value, negative 1, 0, 1, and 2. I'm going to show you one more with our calculator. So to substitute negative 1 in there, I'm just going to do 2, parentheses, negative 1, and your parentheses, minus 5. Okay, negative 7. And then you'll continue to do 0, 1, and 2. You'll get negative 5, negative 3, negative 1. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and plot those points. So plot negative 2, negative 9. Let's go left 2, down 9. Negative 1, negative 7, left 1, down 7, 0, negative 5, down 5, 1, 3, right 1, down 3, 2, 1, right 2, down 1. As you can see, you see my line forming. Using a straight edge, you're going to connect your points. You put arrows on both sides, and then you just graph your line. Okay? And I can tell that this relation is going to be a function because there are no points that are directly above one another. And if you notice from later in the chapter, all lines will be functions. All right, so let's go ahead and graph number 2. When you come back, I will show you a way to use your graphing calculator to check to make sure your table is correct. Okay. So again, since I have -3 is not a fraction, I'm just going to use my normal x value. So I start with 0 in the middle. I go 2 smaller, so -1, -2, and I go 2 bigger, 1, 2. And I'm going to do the same thing to find my output values. I have y equals -3. Now I'm going to substitute first -2, and I add 6. And I'm going to do that for every y value. Okay, so I'm going to get 12 first off, and I'm going to get 9, 6, 3, and 0. If you notice, this point right here will not be on the graph. So I'm going to first plot -1, 9. So I do left 1 up 9. 0, 6 is just up 6. 1, 3 is right 1 up 3. And 2 zeros right here. Okay? If you want to make another point, you can go to 3, and then when you substitute 3 in there, you'll get -3. So 3, -3 here. Okay. Using your straight edge, you're going to connect the points, and then add arrows on both sides. And then again, it passes the vertical line test, because there are no points directly above one another. Alright, almost done. Let's go to number 7. Now, if you notice, you have a fraction. This is the only time that you're not going to go count by 1, but you're actually going to count by the denominator. Okay? Since the denominator is 2, I'm going to count by 2 so I avoid decimals. So I'm still going to start 0, but I'm going to go up by 2. So -2, -4, and then up by 2's again. 2, 4. You go by the denominator. Okay? That's how you know what to count by. Alright, so I'm going to find my output value. So I do y equals -1/2 times -4 minus 4 to find my first. Let's go ahead and review how to type that in our calculator. Okay, so I do negative, okay, parentheses, sorry, -1/2, -1/2, x, which x is going to be substituted -4 first, minus 4. That's how we're going to type in. Remember, in order to do fractions in our calculator, we do division with parentheses. Press enter. Alright, so my first y value is going to be -2. Let's go ahead and practice one more time with -2. So I'm going to do parentheses, -1 divided by 2, x, which now x is going to be -2, minus 4. Alright, so my second y value is -3. I'm going to just go ahead and fill in the other y values. -4, -5, -6. Alright, let's go ahead and plot this relation. So I have -4, so left 4, down 2. -2, -3, left 2, down 3. 0, -4 is just down 4. 2, -5 is right 2, down 5. And lastly, 4, -6 is right 4, down 6. Alright, there's my line. Using your straight edge, connect your points, and add arrows on both sides. Alright, last problem. Again, you see that you're dealing with a fraction, so to avoid decimals, you're just going to count by the number in the denominator, which is 3. Oops, my highlighter not working. 3, sorry. So again, I'm going to start with 0. 0. And I'm going to count by 3s. So I'm going to go -3, -6, and then up by 3. 3, 6. So again, we're going to count by 3s because the 3 is in the denominator. Alright, so we're going to substitute negative 6 in first. So y equals 2/3 times negative 6 minus 7. To do that in your calculator, you do parentheses 2 divided by 3. I'm going to substitute negative 6 in. Oops. Negative 6, and then subtract 7. And that's what I typed in. My first y value was negative 11. And I noticed that y value is not going to be in my table because it only says a 10 by 10. Alright, I'm going to substitute negative 3 in there. I'm going to get negative 9. When I substitute 0 in, I get negative 7. When I substitute 3 in there, I get negative 5. And when I substitute 6 in there, I get negative 3. Alright, let's go ahead and plot this relation. So again, this one's not on the table, doesn't fit. So negative 3, negative 9 is left 3, down 9. 0, negative 7 is just down 7. 3, negative 5 is right 3, down 5. And then 6, negative 3 is right 6, down 3. And again, if I wanted to add one more, just have 5 points, it would be 9, comma 0 when I substituted in there. Oops, that's not 9, that's 8. Oops, my eraser's so slow. There you go. Right here. Using your straight edge, check your points, and add arrows. Alright, I hope that helps be able to complete your homework. It's only one page, there's no back side. I hope everyone has a fun time, and I will see you tomorrow.